Lovely, 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 wonderful people. A pleasant afternoon to everybody. All right, beautiful people. A very serious, really, really, really serious matter of almost grave concern. And I realize that I've been on TikTok and I hear people talking about Rosalee and that, I'm hearing that CDA has taken her children. It seems to be true. I'm not sure if it is so, because of a comment that she made. So I went online to listen to the comment. And she was basically complaining and crying out in a sense, that, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember everything altogether in terms of word for word, but, I think I have a good sense of what she was saying. So she's basically saying that she has a split personality because of her upbringing, never having that love from the mother, that matriarchal care and love. And when she gets very angry, she gets dark like midnight. I mean, and she just loses control. I'm not a psychologist, nor am I a counselor or a psychiatrist. And I know sometimes based on the stress levels or stressors of the brain, it may create something physical, where people talk about split personalities. But oftentimes, sometimes it is just, you know, the basic foundation, lack of self-control and being taught the right principles of how to behave, having social graces, being socially fit, being socially apt, not inept, being able to fit properly into society, that when challenges come, you deal with challenges under the auspices of self control, which is really an offshoot of emotional intelligence. So if you're not taught that, you're going to be like a wild boar. You're going to be just wild and operate like a wild animal. So oftentimes what they may sometimes in my, or let me not say oftentimes, sometimes what they may call split personalities, just lacking self-control, lacking social graces. And you've gotten away without any accountability framework being employed and emitted towards you. So you're generally probably not held accountable. You're often given to your own whims and fancies. And when that happens and you're not answerable to somebody for your actions, you think it is normal that when you're upset or when things do not go your way because of fear, because of anxiety, whatever the reasons may be, you feel that it is okay to behave in the way that you behave. Now, there's a scripture in Proverbs that says, "He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life." It is talking about a life physically, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, financially, all the alleys that you can think of. It is talking about. For those who may be Bible, an avid reader, or they accept the fundamental principles of the Bible, knowing that it is a blueprint for life, Jesus embodied that. There was a time when he spoke and really hit out against a lot of injustices and unfairness when he was placed before Pilate and they're questioning him and him going on and they're thinking that they're being cute and that they're humiliating and embarrassing him, which they're embarrassing themselves at the time. He remained quiet. He never answered. He never answered a word. Pilate's wife had a dream that he was innocent. And she went and she warned her husband and said, "Look here, wash your hands clean." They literally used to wash hands. It was a symbolism that I wash my hands from this thing. When you hear people say it, it was a literal act to say, I'm stepping away from this thing. So they would literally do that as a symbolism that they have pulled away from it. They're not a part of it. But he was a very hypocritical, narcissistic man, even though he sent him over back to Caesar and so forth. And the Pharisees, Sadducees, and those so-called high priests, or whatever you want to call them. And I'm saying that to say this. I am not sure, I cannot, a lot of times people say that nobody's telling, or sometimes you may hear people say nobody's telling him or her the truth. Nobody may be telling Rosalee the truth. That may not be true. Again, I started with, if you grow up under the auspices of not being held accountable, you're going to think it is okay to behave in any and every old way, whether it offends people, whether it is wrong, or whether it is right. You're like a wild animal because you're not usually held accountable. So maybe there are people who will come and they will say to you, Rosalie, don't do this, do not say this, do not act this way. I remember once I was watching her program and a lady came on and who really cares about her and supports her says, Rosalie, my only problem, I don't like when you behave this way. You don't need to. You need to stop it. She was calm, cool, and collected in a sense to the lady. But after a while, she said, I know you support me now, but it's like you're controlling me and telling me what to do, which I agree with. God gave us all volition. And God gave us choices. However, it is like Ezekiel 33, I think, that talks about the watchman. If you see somebody going down the wrong road and you say nothing, the blood of that person will be on your shoulder. So I am saying that to say there are people who probably have said to her, do not behave this way. Stop speaking certain things. If you say this because you are a popular influencer or social media personnel, people are listening to you, the powers that be, different legal companies, whatever it may be, and what you say can be used against you. The American law when they're arresting people, what you say can be used, which is true. What you say can be used against you. The former Prime Minister, PJ Patterson's silence cannot be quoted. He was a smart man when he made that comment. That was one of the wisest comments that he made. He must have read the story of Jesus when Jesus was put before Pilate. You understand me? Jesus was showing us a thing. No matter what them saying and going out with the foolishness. You see, when you realize that you must keep quiet. Keep quiet. Shut your trap. Shut your shop, as an uncle of mine would have said. No, I know in Jamaica back in the day, old time parents, when them vex and them angry, they say, pick them away, whatever, maybe K you know what it is. Kill, right? But them talking about not literally doing it. So I thought it was that. And when I went on and I heard her saying, sometimes when it's like when she's saying, like you would say, your mother take you, the thought of her burning the place down, being an arsonist, and you have to be careful with TikTok with what you're saying. So you have to be changing up and using something to stab the children and the spouse and just ending herself as well. Now, once you mention it, go and talk to the legal officers and counsel about the different types of annihilation. You see, the stab, it is one of the most sinister, evil, malevolent way. If she probably had said, pick them away, whatever, For example, I'm just giving an example. Versus saying what she said, it would have connoted a different thing, because they know that's how people talk, and it's probably something that she used to hear from her mother, and know that she's just angry. But when you say that you will stab, it means that you really thought this thing through, and then get rid of your own self after you get rid of everybody. That is something that the relevant authorities have to take seriously. You cannot say she doesn't mean it. How is it? Are you people in her head? How do you know that? I am not saying she does, and I'm not saying she does not. But that is a very serious comment to make. All of us, we have our emotions of anger, of sadness, of joy, of gladness, of all of that. We have to sometimes make better sense prevail. There are times some thoughts will come to my mind. If I ever say it, them handcuff me. Sometimes when some thoughts come to my mind, if I ever say it, them probably handcuff me. You hear what I'm saying to you? I have to shut my trap, because I understand the laws of the land and the laws of God more importantly. And additionally, she's aware of an accountability framework, because sometimes when I'm watching her program, she may be doing, I don't know what it is that she's doing. Like you say, her head is out because she doesn't want it to be seen, because she knows that TikTok will just probably shut the live down and block her for a long time. So she's aware of that. So similarly, when you're publicly speaking, understand that whatever you say can and will and shall be used against you in the court of law. It is very unfortunate. The entire family needs help, a comprehensive intervention, especially a divine one. And I pray that the entire family does. get it. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe, give me one of those lions. Thank you.